Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Sheikh Zubair once again. I hope you all are having a great Sunday and happy to learn some more. Our today's topic is very interesting topic in which we will be talking about how to identify a toxic organization or a toxic workplace. But before we start, let's understand the term toxic. The term toxic refers to something which is dangerous, harmful and contagious. Once we have established the meaning of the word toxic, let's reflect the same thing to an organization. An organization can be toxic as well. And the biggest litmus test of an organization which is toxic is one. And a toxic organization is run by an individual, not through policies. And why it's run through by an individual? Because dynamics of a toxic organization changes every now and then, and the leadership or the top man of the organization has to change the parameters. So that's why those organizations which are toxic, they are run by one individual rather than the policies and procedures placed in the organization. Also, the second thing which you will find in these organizations is that you have a lot of people will come back and tell you, or you'll notice it among yourselves, is that they have a factor of loyalty on the top end, whereas literacy or intellect at a lower end. You'll find a lot of people coming back and tell you, I've been in the organization for last 15 years, 10 years, 18 years, 19 years, 20 years. But end of the day, when you ask them in terms of their credentials or in terms of their contribution to the organization, which are very less, and their key to survival in those organizations is just one thing: spending time. And by spending time, actual contributions are nothing. Because when you're spending time and you're not upgrading yourself intellectually, how would you ever contribute to an organization? You would never do. What happens is they hire people to work under them, and whatever they tend to grab from them or whatever they tend to pull off by those people, those are their small milestones in those people, in those organizations. So hota ye hai ki toxic organization will always have a lot of people within the organization which have been with the organization for 19, 20, 15, 10 years. But when you talk about intellect, literacy rate, that would be low. That is the second sign which one should find out and realize that yes, I'm being part of a toxic organization. Third thing which you will find in a toxic organization are the privileges. For example, your agreed benefits which you've been agreed upon when you're joining a toxic organization, they will be given to you as favors rather than entitlements. So that is also a big litmus test for anybody who becomes part of a toxic organization, that any benefit, anything which was agreed upon when you are being part of that organization would be given to you not as an entitlement, more towards as a favor. Iske baad, the second thing, another thing in fact, which you would realize being part of a toxic organization, every time you are having a meeting, any staff meeting or any corporate meeting, every time you finish that meeting, there will always be another meeting following that. And actually that meeting which is done after a proper official meeting is to discuss what things were not to be said in front of you or certain people. A toxic organization loves to work in silos. And the only reason the toxic organization would love to work in silos is because they need to hide their deficiencies. They need to hide their unskilled part or the intellect part that a newcomer should not know. Another thing which you will also find in a toxic organization is everyone likes to act. They act is, look busy, do nothing. I am doing this, I am doing that, and there is no yield. There's no yield, there's no accountability in a toxic organization, because that is run on the parameters of loyalty. Yes, I'm loyal, I've been there in the organization for 50 years or 15 years. I can do whatever, or I can say whatever, and I can run the way I want to. So that's the biggest litmus test of a toxic organization. Another thing which you will experience in a toxic organization is people tend not to discuss with you the real picture. When I talk about the real picture, what actually is going on. They would like to take the credit of others. They would like to bash you in the corner. They would like to make sure that you don't get close to the management of the company. And it's vice versa. The management also of those companies would like not to entertain a new person coming in the organization. So that's also one biggest dilemma of being part of a toxic organization, that you never get to work freely. You have to work in a feudal system. It's more of a feudal system. A toxic organization, agar main isko simply break up karu, it's more of a feudal system where the organization is, again, as I said earlier, is run through individuals, not through policies. Intellect versus loyalty has more weightage. Also, when you are being part of a toxic organization, you'll see a lot of people will come to you with a lot of rumors. A toxic organization is one in which there's a lot of rumors. People like to do rumors. This is happening, that is happening. Information sharing is not just get there transparent. You would not find information being flown transparently. You would not find people being open to you. And the only reason आप देखिएगा, a toxic organization has the lowest retention level of newcomers being part of that, because the old guys or the loyalty guys, as I said, they would not let anyone else come in or bring any change, because the moment the change starts coming in, you are giving them discomfort, you are taking them out of their comfort zone. So whenever you find these things, or whenever you are being offered a new job, look out for these small tests to find out that whether these things exist in an organization or not. Because if they do, I guarantee you that you are being part of a toxic organization and you will not be able to survive that. Or now come to the second part of the thing. If you already are a part of a toxic organization and you are suffering this toxic atmosphere, what you can do, what options do you have? As I said earlier in my previous video, I said we will be talking about things which you are currently facing in a toxic organization, or when you're applying for a new job or going to a new organization, how to hunt or how to check that whether the organization is a toxic organization or not. As we have talked about it now, that how to identify, let's come to the next part. The next part is you have very limited choices if you're already part of a toxic organization. The one thing I would suggest is keep your calm, try and survive it, and keep a lookout. The moment you get a new offer or a better offer, it's better for you to switch. And before that is towards an employee's point of view. And a message which I would like to give to toxic organizations or organizations which have become toxic is to change the mindset. Is to now realize the fact that my organization is becoming toxic. The top management or the leadership needs to think that how I should bring those changes, how we should open up, how we should break those silos and get away from this toxic organization to a healthy organization. So I hope this learning is helpful for all of you, and you use these tips when you are joining any new organization, or people who are currently being part of a toxic organization. Please look out for better opportunities and try to get a career where you are part of a healthy organization. That was today's learning, and I hope this helps you all out, and happy learning to you, and take care. Khuda Hafiz.